Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and welcome to episode 26 of the DGA podcast. Dun dun, dun dun. I am your host, Vince, and with me is my co-host,
Idly.
Idly, you know her by now. So we're gonna do another top 5 this week, or month, or whatever we are doing now. I don't even know anymore, I'm getting old. So our top 5, just imagine you're working 40 hours a week, 80 hours a week, whatever it is. You come home from work and you're just so stressed out. And you're just in a really foul mood. Okay, just picture that. And your significant other turns to you and basically says,
"It's over. Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off."
yeah. Imagine you're screaming, you're completely pissed off. And then you go on to say things like,
I have a goldfish named Peanut.
oh, I'm sorry, that's the wrong button. That was actually Clementine from The Walking Dead. I'm keeping that in. All right. So just picture that you're in a super bad mood and you can't even think straight anymore. It devolves into crying.
Charge $1 million equipment. Back here, I can't even hold a job. Fucking guys! Ah!
Break stuff. Anyway, so just you're in that mindset. So what do you naturally do in that situation? You turn
You
to
get a goldfish named Peanut.
yes, you absolutely.
I have a goldfish named Peanut.
You get a goldfish named Peanut. That's exactly.
Basically.
Yes. So, rather than, taking it out on people, you decide to turn to something. Some people turn to drinking, some people turn to drugs. Me, personally, I turn to games because it's safer that way and less hazardous to your health. So we came up with a list, top 5 games that we chillax to personally, okay? And we thought about it, and I'm thinking, we could do top 5 games that are just relaxing to play, but that would be a pretty canned list, I think. Like, oh, sure, everyone would relax to that game. No, these are games that are tailor-made to be relaxing to us. These are games that we personally find relaxing, and these are our personal go-to choices, not ones that we think would be relaxing to everybody, but ones that are personally relaxing to us. Mm-hmm. So, rather than get into the mindset of,
it's time to abort your whole friggin' species.
rather than getting into the mindset where we want to abort the entire species, that's a Duke Nukem reference. Let's just get into the top 5 before my soundboard just goes on strike. All right. So I'm going to stall as long as possible and move into that, and there we go. So my top 5 entry, and this was tough for me because I had a couple of these. Like, I was playing around with Minecraft and Eco, but I eventually settled on No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is just one of those games where you can get lost in. There's a lot of things to do, and it's not frustrating. I mean, it can be to a point because there's a lot of grinding involved, but for the most part, you're free to just, like, there's no hunger mechanic. Like, you're not bogged down by survival all that much, aside from, say, oxygen or radiation or whatever you happen to be around. But the survival elements to this game are fairly light. Yeah, there's some, but it's lighter than other games that I've played. And you can sort of just fly around the different, solar system / galaxy and explore, fly around on the planet's surface and investigate different animals, just take pictures. You can grind for resources. If you're in a base building mood, you can just start building a house or an outpost or whatever. Then you can go to another planet and build your own outpost there. You can build like these gateways that let you fast travel between them. And this game, not only that, it's updating constantly. I think just this morning, Idly was telling me that there is a new update either existing or coming for this game that has you, I think, managing settlements or something like that. She's read more about it than I have. But this game is constantly evolving. So I'm just... this kind of won out compared to, say, Eco and other games like it because it's got a lot of content and you can just sort of get lost in it relatively stress-free. Any thoughts about No Man's Sky?
I wanted to put this down, but No Man's Sky for me it's relaxing, but it's very overwhelming sometimes.
I can
Because
understand.
because I want to do everything at the same, like, I cannot turn my brain off with this game because I want to do everything.
Mm-hmm. No,
But I love this game, and it's a great game.
one thing that turns me off with it is just the inventory management. It's I feel like calling it no man's inventory. Like that's instead of no man's, it's just constant inventory
Yeah.
battling, just trying to, okay, do I really need this? I can't fit any more resources in my pack. You know, eventually you do unlock more slots for yourself, but still, like in the beginning, it's like it's a pain. It really is. That's the only thing that really frustrates me about this game is just the inventory management. But aside from that, this game is a lot of fun to play, in my opinion, and it's a game that I can just get lost in for a little bit when I'm mad and just go around and do stuff. And if I don't like shooting asteroids for minerals or whatever, I can just go build a base. That I find that part relaxing. I like building bases, like in Subnautica or, you know, Minecraft or Eco, or just I like base building elements. So this kind of game is something I can get lost in pretty easily.
Yep.
All right. So that being said, what was your number 5?
My number 5 was animated puzzles.
Okay, now I do not have this animated puzzles footage because I don't think I actually own it. Is this on Tabletop Sim or
You have it.
do I?
You
Okay,
yes.
I may not have
And
covered it.
I remember doing like I remember the first time you had it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to play this." And I played it for 3.8 hours.
Holy cow! Okay,
And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Actually, is this free to play? Wait a second. Now I have to make sure.
I don't know if the one that we're looking at on screen right
No.
now is a game called Puzzle Together. That's
I
separate from
see.
your animated puzzles.
Animated puzzles is $9.99. You definitely have it.
Okay.
Yep.
So did you choose this as an example? Like you like all puzzle games, or is animated puzzles the go-to?
I like all the puzzles. Like, I like going on Tabletop Sim and doing the jigsaw puzzles on there. I like, oh my god, that picture of me is terrible to have up.
It's beautiful. Stop
Oh
it.
my gosh. So I like all the puzzles, but animated puzzles is one of my favorites because all the edges, like no puzzle really is the same. All the edges are like different. They're either really straight. Oh my god. Either I can't even look at that. They're either really straight or like they have those pieces right there, like jagged, or it's so different. And on top of it all, the puzzles are animating. You know,
You're
I did not.
struggling. You're struggling to form sentences right now because you hate the fact that your picture is on this.
I never knew that you did this. When did you do this?
I posted this video in January 2021.
Wow, and I never knew.
Yes, so you're welcome.
Okay.
Watch me assemble you.
Oh my god. So, I do like all the puzzles. All the puzzles are my go-to, but animated puzzles is definitely one of my favorite. And it has remote play. And I plan on playing this with Lily because she likes puzzles. So I'm going to play with her as soon as she gets on.
Okay, so puzzles are relaxing to you. You don't.
Yeah.
I hate these kind of puzzles because they frustrate me. Like, I'm like, oh, I got the corners, and now I got the edges, but now I've got 6 million pieces for the center. I'm like, I don't have time for this BS. And there's other reasons, like there are other games that I could have added to this list, but I didn't because of that same mindset. All right. So anyway, anything else to say about animated puzzles before we move on?
I think it's my go-to because if I want to de-stress, I'll just do a puzzle. And if I cannot finish it, and if it's starting to get stressful, then I just go do another one. It's not that big of a deal to just quit one and then try and complete another one, to me, at least.
Do you enjoy playing this alone or with friends when you're stressed?
I actually prefer playing it with other people. I don't mind the help. It doesn't even have to be generally a friend. It could be like some random, as long as they don't troll you. But yeah, I like the help. I don't mind. Okay. I don't mind it at all.
That's good to know. Like when I'm stressed out and I want to play, a game, I do it on my own typically because I'm in a foul mood. I'll end up lashing out at someone when I'm mad like that. So, but the fact that you can, even when you're stressed out like that, and you can still play with others is pretty cool. That's not a skill that I have. When I'm pissed, and leave me alone. You know.
Aw. I'm very much the opposite. When I'm really stressed out and upset, I like to be around people because it kind of puts me in check. Like I have to watch my mouth. I have to, force myself to de-stress so that other people don't have that same, overwhelming feeling. So I think puzzles are pretty good for that.
I'm just admiring your face there.
No, change number 4.
All right, number 4. All right. All right, fine. Your wish is my command. All right, my number 4 game that I de-stress to or find chillaxing, whatever the kids say nowadays, is a game called Forager. I know what you're thinking. This game looks hectic. There's stuff all over the place. Well, yes and no. There's, again, no survival element to this, typically. I mean, there is some food that you have to eat every now and again, and you do have to worry about health, but primarily it's an idle game where you're getting resources, you're crafting things, there is some combat, but it's fairly light. This is a game that I can just sit there and just, I don't know, it's very addicting. As you earn experience, you earn skill points, and you go into a skill tree and you unlock new things. This is a game I could play for hours in one sitting and sort of de-stress to, because I'm working to build my estate, array, town, mini village, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's just, and you're also improving your character in the process, getting better weapons and better tools. So yeah, it's like a casual, quicker version of something like Minecraft, where it's more of an idle game, but it focuses more on income and resource generation and crafting and refining. And it's a game, I don't know, I find it really addicting and soothing for some reason. Any thoughts on Forager?
I almost put this down. It's actually in my honorable mentions.
Oh, okay.
I like Forager, but again, it's one of those things where I cannot turn my brain off, because I don't know, for this list, I wanted to put games that I could really just go in and completely be brain dead to, And Forager isn't one of them, just because there's so many things to do.
Well, to be fair, that's what we were saying earlier about the whole personalization of this list. Like, we could can a 5-entry list, top 5 relaxing games that anyone can play.
Yeah.
That would again be pretty standard across the board. In fact, behind me is a picture of a game called Abzu, where, that's a relaxing game. That sounds like a great entry, right? Well, yeah, fine. But is it relaxing to me? Is it a game that I would go to relax? And that's why we're personalizing this. You find this game a bit overwhelming. You found No Man's Sky a bit overwhelming, right? Like, it's just, there's a lot going on. Me, if a game is boring, I have a hard time sticking with it enough to relax. I need a game that challenges me in the head, but isn't hard to where I get frustrated with it. That's my ideal relaxing kind of game. I don't have this game on my list, but a game like Factorio, where you do have to use your brain, sometimes it can frustrate me because I don't know what I'm supposed to do next. Or trying to get this resource over here, that can be frustrating to me sometimes. So, everyone is going to be different in terms of what they consider relaxing. And I find it interesting that, our two ways of looking at things are completely almost opposite.
Yeah, it's such a different perspective.
Agreed. All right. So with that being said, what was your number 4 entry?
My number 4 was House Flipper.
House Flipper. This was a game that, again, I thought about putting on my list, but again, it feels more like work than a relaxing game. It's more of a grind.
Yeah. I like it as a relaxing game because you can just go in there and click things. Like, just click, clean, and that's it. The only reason why Viscera Cleanup Detail didn't replace this one is because of the stupid collectibles that I feel like I have to collect. otherwise, I love Viscera cleanup detail because you just wash things. Like, you really do just wash and pick up the stuff.
Viscera cleanup detail is a good point. However, like, to me, again, this is personal preference. The levels are so long that, again, it makes it feel more like work. Like, I like cleaning in game. Like, when I go through House Flipper, I like the small, quick maps that I can burn through quickly. I don't like 6-hour projects, and Viscera Cleanup Detail is a 6-hour project. There are no small levels in that game. I'm just way too busy as a person to dedicate that much time to cleaning. After the half an hour mark, I'm going to be like, oh my god, there's still 95% of the map I still have to clean. I'm just going to quit and play something else. I'm getting too bored and too frustrated with my progress. I don't feel like I'm making any progress. So, but you don't mind that slog? You don't mind it?
I love it because it's just such a difference, you know? Like, when you clean an area compared to what it was before, it's kind of satisfying, you know? And it's so easy. Well, okay, not that easy because anything you do can mess it up.
In Viscera Cleanup Detail, yeah, you step in blood, then you track footprints on the ground, then you make more of a mess than you end up starting with.
Yeah. But that's why House Flipper is on here. Like, there's little things that make it a little bit easier and more relaxing. And with House Flipper, it's so easy to transform a house. And it's like Power Wash Simulator is in my honorable mentions, even though I have never played it. It's just one of those relaxing, boring games, you know?
No, that's fair enough. Some people just like that. You like train station renovation for that reason, too. Do you like the cleaning or the decorating or both?
I liked the cleaning, to be honest. I like just trying to make things look cleaner, I guess. But with train station renovation, the maps were too quick, I think.
Really?
Like, I feel like it was just like a wham bam, thank you, let's not play this ever again.
See,
ordeal.
okay, I can see where you say that. Like, I can understand that. Compared to Viscera Cleanup Detail, the train station renovation maps are pretty small. Me personally, I still find it to be work. Like, when I get through one map, I feel like I've just worked out for 6 hours. You know what I mean? Like, that's just, again, me personally. I would love a game like House Flipper or Train Station Renovation or a combination where it randomly generates maps to keep it fresh and makes them as small, medium, or big as you want. I would love something like that. I have yet to find it. Anyway, so anything else to say about House Flipper?
I can turn my brain off and decorate or clean however I want, and I think that's a really cool feature.
Fair enough. All right, moving on to number 3. My number 3 was a game that we've played a lot lately. It's called Raft. I am so relaxed by this game. I could play it for hours, days. It's just the constant grind for resources is doable. Even though it's slow going, it's still doable to where, like, I don't feel frustrated with it. And I love designing stuff on the boat, not to the extent that you do, where you're adding bathrooms and make-believe rooms.
Dining room.
Yes, dining rooms with scarecrows all over the place and pretending like they're diners. Putting that one Major Tom doll on a table around like 10 bottles of alcohol or whatever it is to I don't go to those lengths, okay? But I do enjoy like creating the boat, my USS Rectangle or whatever you want to call it, because I'm not very creative. I just like my Borg efficiency. But
Square.
My square, yeah. I enjoy the grind to gather resources to the point where I become self-sufficient. Like the nets. If I could just have a boat of nets, I would just do that. Like, even though I don't need all these resources, and they would totally go to waste once I got it up and running. Like, I like the grind to become self-sufficient. I don't know what it is. I don't care about coloring things like you do. I don't paint things. Like, I don't even touch color. I don't even touch the plants or refine them into paint in this game. I just like building the boat, making the most efficient boat possible, with a little touch of personality, which is pretty minute. We're talking a small room with some trophies or something like that, but that's about it. Blue. Just
a blue room.
Yeah, assuming I even bother with colors. Does this game relax you, or does this game frustrate you?
It relaxes me up until about the 20-minute mark, and then it kind of feels a bit suffocating, honestly.
Is it because there's a lot of things to worry about, like if the food and thirst bars didn't deplete as quickly? Because there's always something to do. There's cooking, there's smelting, eating, you can fish, there's things to refine, craft, research. Like, there's tons of things to do all at once. Unless you've got a team of people breaking up those tasks, you're going to feel overwhelmed on a regular basis. Yeah. Is that it?
Kind of. It's just more that it gets really boring, to be honest.
Okay.
And I love a good grind for resources, but I think the first person view and the I don't know, there's something about it that makes me not want to play this for long periods of time.
Okay. Understandable. See, I'm completely opposite. I've played this for 4 or 6 hours at a stretch.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just the whole like with Viscera cleanup detail, like you were saying, it gives me a sense of accomplishment when I built my boat. Until I can just sit back, put my arms up, and be like, yep, I'm done. I don't got to lift a finger. All my resources are coming in automatically now. I don't have to do anything,
Except for feed and thirst yourself.
Right, exactly. Like, once I get to that point, like, I'm good. But the journey to getting there is actually kind of enjoyable to me.
It's kind of like No Man's Sky, I think, in that sense. So you like the grind for resources.
I do. I'm a big resource management kind of guy. I enjoy that kind of thing. Storage boxes for days. Organizing, one box for every single resource. Signs to show this box is for this, or this box is for this, or what have you. I love that kind of thing. All right. Well, that was my number 3. What was your number 3?
My number 3 was Farm Together.
Farm Together. This is a game that we've played before. Why do you find this relaxing?
Because you can literally watch Netflix or listen to music or just watch movies and just do the most repetitive, mundane, boring chores in this game.
See, I'm getting back to that whole boring chore. Like, okay, your farm is miles long. How many hours, okay, without the cheat thing where you move very fast, how long would it take you to manage your entire farm?
Okay, listen, first of all, that's an exploit that I take advantage of because I am 2 years into this farm and I'm not even close to, like, max leveling everything, okay? So... Anyways, so it takes me on the real, it took me 5 hours to actually plant all the flowers in normal time. 5 hours.
Oh my goodness.
And then 5 hours to plant all the sprinklers. But it's a fun thing to do.
I agree. Okay, here's my take on this. The game limits you to so many workers, and is it unlimited sprinklers, or do you have limit on sprinklers too?
No, it's unlimited sprinklers.
Okay, that I can get behind, but the workers collect your crops for you. I wouldn't mind a large map, okay, and everything filled up. So as long as I can get it to the point where everything is automated. I can come in, not lift a finger, collect a bunch of resources. Not the case. You're limited on on workers in this game. Like, you can only have so many.
But here's the thing. My one of my farms, right, is so huge. Every tile's covered. Except every single 13 by 13 area has a little empty dot in it. So I can actually move my workers to that empty dot.
Not gonna fly with
like
me.
that?
Nope. Again,
you gotta play a game.
No, but no.
A game is to be
okay,
played.
I get it.
Or
I totally get that. But if I cannot make the game fully automated by me working to get there, then I don't want to do it in the first place. I don't like that grind. I like, again, just like in Raft, I like to get to a point where I don't have to lift a finger. Like, Factorio is another example. You can do a lot of manual tasks in Factorio, but you can get it to the point where it's fully automated and you don't have to lift a finger to do anything. I enjoy that. I would play a game too because it can become fully automated if I get it set up that way. This game, it limits you on how many workers you have, and you still have to move them around. To me, that's work. You know what I mean?
To be honest, though, you don't even have to expand it as, for more than the 15 worker limit. You can have a big farm only up to that 15 worker limit and just stop right there. You don't have to build, or you can just decorate the rest of it,
But in order to progress, though, in this game, you have to, like, every crop, every flower, every animal has their own XP leveling system. So that means you need, like, at least one of everything in order to earn that XP and to grow it, right? So
yeah, but I have on my other farm, I have a 13 by 13 area. I think I have about 3 or 4 13 by 13 areas where 4 workers are on it, and I have one of everything covering. So I don't even pay attention to quests anymore because they will automatically get it, even if it takes forever. So I'm pretty I'm so rich to the point where I don't do anything. That's why I'm not even max player level yet. Plus, it's called Farm Together, so people who come visit your farm are actually your farm hands, too.
All right, okay, again, I can understand the developer's direction there. I want a farm solo game where I can do everything on my own without being reliant on other people.
Yeah, you can definitely do that.
I sound like I'm complaining about this game. I'm not. I like this game. I would play it more, except the larger I build my farm, the more I feel like I'm doing work. To the point where,
I understand.
There's like this trade-off. Like, I enjoy the game when I've got a small farm. I can go in there 20 minutes, take care of everything, and then log back out again. But if I grow my farm to a point where it's filling up many sections and it's going to take me hours to do everything, I'm going to be less inclined to do it because there's no automation there anymore. And to get that automated stuff, your workers or the sprinklers, you need these ribbons or these special currencies that you need to buy them, and that's slow going too. So it's very grindy that way.
It's a very grindy game.
I will say, though, that I do enjoy this, and this would have been on my list had other ones not already been on it. So this would be like an honorable mentions for me, because I agree with you. This is a cool game to unwind to, and I would recommend it to other people. I totally would.
I went on a farm where there was a woman who just had like one of everything, the same thing that I did on every single one of her workers. And then the rest of her farm, because she had all the plots unlocked, the rest of her farm was just decorations. So she never even had to go to that area of her farm. So it can be self-sustainable. It just takes forever to get there, that's all. And I think you don't like that much of a grind because you just don't have the time.
No, I don't. I cannot commit more than an hour or 2 hours to a game like this. It's look at Heroes of Hammerwatch. How much grind. I mean, like, you have what, over 2,000 hours? I don't even know what it is anymore.
I think it's only like 2,000 hours.
That's what I mean, and you're not really like anywhere near as high as other people in terms of level. So like, I cannot dedicate that much of my time to something like that. So had they toned down the grind, I would play this a lot more.
Yeah.
Make workers and sprinklers more accessible. Still have a grind, but more accessible, I think. Anywho, anything else to say about Farm Together?
It's a brain dead game in the very most nicest way that I'm saying it.
I understand what you. Yeah, I know. My number 2 was Tropico. Well, Tropico in general, but typically Tropico 4. What you're seeing right here is Tropico 6 because I pulled the wrong footage. But Tropico 4 relaxes me more than Tropico 6 does. Tropico 5 and 6, just to briefly talk about it, they changed the gameplay mechanics somewhat. Tropico 4, you could adjust like individual rent and worker wage to an actual number. Here, it's based on budget, like low, medium, high, very high kind of thing. So they dumbed it down. I find Tropico 5 and 6 to be harder than Tropico 4. So my entry here was Tropico 4, really. Tropico 4 is a game, I love building things. Tropico is nice because it's replayable. I can take the same map, right? Go into it, but build a completely different city. So, and it's going to take me hours to do that. I can focus on tourism. I could focus on bananas. I could focus on exporting gold. I could focus on this. I could focus on, and then I could have different strategies every time I play. So this is a fun, once you learn Tropico in general, once you get over that initial learning curve, it's a very enjoyable game. I have yet to really figure out Tropico 6. I feel like it's harder than Tropico 4. But Tropico 4 in modern times, the expansion to it, excellent games. And those are two games that I could jump back into at any time and just have fun with it. Any thoughts on Tropico being a relaxing game to you? Or does it stress you out?
I find Tropico 6 actually a lot easier than Tropico 4 and
Really?
5.
Okay.
But it's interesting. I don't know. It's like one of those weird quirks,
See,
I guess.
my issue with Tropico 5 and 6, it revolves around gameplay mechanics. And Tropico 4 and prior, you know how they have elections in this game? There's happiness, there's people happiness. Your elections were tied to that happiness, to people happiness. So if your people happiness was 70%, that means that you got 70% roughly of votes coming to you for the election. That was easier. In Tropico 5 and 6, mainly 6, they've added factions, like the military faction, the religious faction. So no matter how happy you keep these people, if you piss off the factions, you're not going to win elections. So your people happiness can be high, but if your factions are angry with you because you're not doing the random missions, like the religious people, the faction, are like, build me a church. And then 10 minutes later, build me a church. 10 minutes to build me a church. I already built 10 churches because you asked me to, and you keep asking me to build churches. I don't wanna. And because I don't wanna, now my faction rating goes down. So now I'm being forced to build 11 churches because the random RNG keeps telling me to. That's BS.
There's no penalty, I think, to demolishing it right after.
No, but it's an unnecessary. That's a workaround, but it's an unnecessary gameplay mechanic. If I can build it and then remove it, then why penalize me in the first place? Just say no and move on. Like it doesn't make sense as a gameplay mechanic. So I don't like the way politics were handled in Tropico 6. I think they convoluted this system. And plus multiplayer in Tropico 6 I think is broken.
Yes.
Based off of Caribbean happiness and players on a team sharing. So if one player does really well, the other one, their happiness goes down, and no matter what they do, they can't make their people happy because it's tied to their friends' happiness. So it's like a scale. When one player does really well, the other player can't keep up. You know what I mean? It's terrible.
Yeah, that's kind of silly.
So
even if it's a team co-op type of game,
right?
It's just ridiculous.
I think. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say this game does not relax me at all because it's a constant balancing issue.
That's my point. I think Tropico 4 handled some of these things and were streamlined a bit more to where I could just sit back and relax. Once I got my sugar plantations and my rum distilleries going, or my tobacco / cigar factories going, and the money rolled in, I could just sort of play around like I was getting a ton of money. This game, again, you've got eras. So, like, the first era is, there's a ticking clock. You've got to appease the crown and do their quests and add 12 more months to the mandate. Otherwise, it's instant game over, no matter how well you're doing. You have to declare your independence to get rid of the era and to move on to the next one before the time limit expires. And that is not optional. That is mandatory. That is stupid. Absolutely stupid. So yeah, Tropico 5 and 6 piss me off in some ways. Tropico 4, not so much. I would advise someone play that before playing 5 and 6, but that's just me.
Okay.
Anything else to say about it before we move on?
The music's relaxing.
Yeah. Every time you play, because you're Puerto Rican, so you like that kind of Latin music. Every time you put something on, I'm like, oh, it's Tropico music. And you're like, no, it's not Tropico music. You get so mad. And it all sounds the same to me.
Tropical music.
Uncultured, maybe. Yeah. All right. What was your number 2?
Ultimate Fishing Simulator.
I wanted to add this to my list as well, but sometimes sometimes it took me a lot of work to catch the fish. Like you have to, in order to catch certain fish, you have to lure a certain way. Like you have to do that hit and run where you have to reel it in, let it drop, reel it in, let it drop, like actual fishing technique. I just want a game where I can cast and reel fish in without being forced to do that. To be fair, you don't have to, but certain fish respond to certain techniques in this game anyway.
It gets easier once you get the better equipment too. Like once you get the highest level of equipment and you know exactly how the mechanic works, it gets so much easier. And I don't know, it's one of those things where I could just watch a movie and just fish and, make millions.
So you find this relaxing? Is this a game you could play for a very long period of time, or is it only in stretches?
No, I could play this for a really long time. I haven't because I don't have the time, but I would. I would absolutely play it for a long time.
See, I agree with you that this is a nice game that you can just sort of Netflix and play, but this is not something I could play for a long stretch because, again, it's not keeping my mind busy. And I know that's kind of stupid, right? The whole point of relaxing is to turn your brain off and do mindless things like you're talking about, right? I'm wired differently, as I said at the beginning of this video. I need to keep my brain somewhat active, but not be frustrated.
It's kind of sad. I think that you like to get distracted, not relaxed.
That is a fair assessment. You are totally psychoanalyzing me right now, and I'm so uncomfortable right now.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. No, the truth hurts. It really does. It hurts. Anything else to say about fishing?
There's really not much to say.
It's
about
fishing.
This game.
You fish, you get money, you unlock new stuff.
Oh, sorry.
Do you find it hard to understand what the different reels are and what the different lures do, and is it as someone that doesn't fish? Did you find it hard to learn all of this stuff?
I was just about to say, as someone who does not fish, I actually had to Google and YouTube a lot of the mechanics. But again, once you're used to the game's stuff, then it kind of comes second nature to you, and it kind of makes you feel like you can actually go out in the real world and try those techniques.
Good luck.
Yeah, no, I don't think it'll work, but
Good
it
luck,
makes you
player.
feel like it does once you learn it, once you research it. But I mean, I've played other fishing games, and this is by far my favorite one.
Agreed.
Because it's so relaxing and it's just so nice to look at, and the water's so eerie sometimes.
I hate that the multiplayer. I hate that the other players are just white bubbles.
I actually don't mind that.
Really?
Yeah, I thought I would hate it too, but it's just it fits in with the most mind-numbing, boring relaxation.
That's weird
game.
coming from someone like you.
I know.
You like your skins. You like customization. You'll spend 3 days customizing an NPC character before even playing, like The Sims. For you to say you're okay with those white bubbles is mind-boggling.
There's color to it sometimes, right? When you catch something, it turns to a different color.
Like
or
red,
something.
when it turns red when I think we're reeling something in or something like that. But
yeah,
I thought you would want outfits and stuff.
I wouldn't say no to that, absolutely. But I don't know. I don't mind the white bubbles. It just makes it so that you're not distracted and you're not like looking at other people's outfits, and judging them. It just makes you just concentrate on, the fishing and the relaxing background and, whatever you're watching or listening to on the side.
Hmm.
So I don't mind it. It fits with the it's thematically correct,
Okay.
I think.
That's totally fair. All
So
right.
curious, what's your number one? Wait, let me guess. I bet you it's something like Mindustry. Or, hold on, or
I'm curious. Can you guess my number one?
is it City Skylines?
No.
Okay.
But that was on my list before I moved it.
Oh,
Because
was
I
it?
was
Okay.
like, I had Tropico on there. City Skylines seemed to be redundant. Because I could say the same thing about City Skylines. I could go into a map, I could build a city and do whatever I want with it, and then play the same map and design it a completely different way. But Tropico 6 lets you build individual buildings, whereas City Skylines is just residential, commercial, industrial. Yeah, there are individual buildings like police stations and hospitals and that, but it's not as detailed. SimCity Societies let you build individual buildings, and I like that, I think, more. So I didn't want to be redundant there, but it was on my list before I moved it.
Okay.
Any other guesses on what my number one would be?
Is it Fallout 4 or Fallout Shelter?
No. Again, one of the criteria for trying to come up with a list, these are games that I can play alone, are relatively stress-free, no to very minimal risk of losing, and is replayable.
Phasmophobia.
No, that can be stressful.
Okay.
My number one,
Okay.
you ready for it?
Off-World Trading Company.
No, that's stressful as well. That's a
Oh,
time
okay.
crunch. Stardew Valley.
Really?
Yeah, Stardew Valley.
Okay.
This is I like farming games. Like you have farm together, right? That's okay to a point, but with this game, with the mods, I can automate everything. I can get to a point in this game where I can wake up and I can go back into bed and just let days go on and not do a darn thing because I've got my mods automating things for me. Oh, it's multiplayer there. That's cool. Also, it has multiplayer. It's another thing. But anyway, yeah, Stardew Valley. I can fish. I can do combat. The only thing that stresses me out about this game is the combat at times, especially in that Skull Mountain. But everything else about this game, like I enjoy the farming element, the making money, to growing a business. I enjoy stuff like that. The resource management. Probably not for the reasons that you would like this. Like, you talk to people. I could care less. You try to get their hearts all the way up. They could ignore me for days. I'm fine. Just leave me with my farm. Let me make my money. Let me make my business. And then, that's that. You, on the other hand, play Stardew Valley for different reasons.
Yes, they do.
So, what do you think about Stardew Valley being a relaxing game?
It's on a lot of people's lists, that's for sure. It's on my honorable mentions. I do find it relaxing sometimes, but when I play it for so long, it gets really boring and kind of like it has that pull. It's hard to explain, but it has a pull, which means that I want to do everything and I just can't, and I don't like that burden, And when I say everything, I mean like you have to like walk to one place to get something done and then walk to the other place and then the day is so short. This game is more relaxing with mods, that's for sure.
I agree. I could not play this game without mods, just because the whole don't know where the NPCs are, that's stupid. I like the automated chests that automatically pull things from machines and put stuff in. Otherwise, this game would not be on my list at all. The mods make it so convenient for me to where I would put this on a list. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can understand what you're saying there because, like you said, farm together is more, you can shut your brain off and do your farming. Here, you can't shut your brain off. You're always thinking about, it's time management. What am I going to do today? This fish only appears at night, so I have to go to this, make sure I'm at this lake over here at night while it's raining in order to try and catch this fish to complete my set for the community center or whatever it is. So I can understand where this game is a bit more thinky than Farm Together. But I grew up playing Harvest Moon. Do you remember Harvest Moon, or have you ever heard of it?
I've never played it, but I remember hearing very good things about it. The closest thing I came to playing it is Animal Crossing.
I've played a lot of different Harvest Moons and a lot of different farming games like it, to where I really enjoy this kind of genre. Not like, again, this game is not perfect. Like, again, combat frustrates me sometimes, like the responsiveness of my character sometimes I feel like combat isn't, I don't know, fair. And the whole skull mine cavern, again, the fact that you reset every time, if it weren't for the mod elevator thing, I would totally not mess with that. But yeah, aside from its imperfections, like, this is a game that I would just be happy just to stay at my farm, build a business, and just have fun doing it. But again, Stardew Valley is a game where you don't have to do that. You can fish all day if you want. You can do this all day if you want. Yeah, there is a time crunch. I think you have, 3 years before Grandpa comes back and grades you or something like that. But I think 3 years is enough time to get most, if not everything, done casually. Especially if you've played multiplayer with friends.
Yeah, and even if you don't make it, he still comes back after that. 3 years is just like the scoring. Like, you get a better score if you do it within 3 years. But if not, it's really not a big deal.
Okay. Does he come back and grade you again to give you a new score, or is that it?
I think that's it.
Okay. Yeah, I've never actually gotten there. I've never played that game long enough. But then again, I've got several, I want to say 50 plus hours, maybe more. Yeah.
I like starting over in it just because the initial starting over is kind of nice. It's kind of relaxing. You just have to clean up your farm. But then after that, there's so much to do, and that's when it's like it gets a bit suffocating for me.
It's like Raft, where the bigger you build your raft, the more responsibilities you have. The bigger you build your factory and Factorio, the more things you have to worry about, and it becomes so stressful that you end up quitting and never coming back to it ever again. A lot of the games suffer from that. I do that all the time, personally.
I love this in multiplayer. I think it's so much more fun in multiplayer, and I think the default is up to 4 people, but there's mods that can make it like up to way more than 4, like 12 or something.
I'm picturing 300 people on one farm just bumping into each other trying to get crap done.
Gosh, I think everyone was starved to death. Like, do you know how much money it is to maintain a full village?
Yeah, that stands to reason.
That's funny.
All right. What was your number 1?
My number 1 is American Truck Simulator.
Okay. Explain.
I love this game so much. It's so relaxing, but it's also like really fun. It's a fun, relaxing game to me, at least, because I don't drive in real life. I don't know how to drive. So for me to drive like a big old truck in a big old city, like trying to deliver things, I don't know, it's so nice.
Fair enough. I wanted to put this game on my list, but I get bored with long drives. I can't, my brain starts to get bored, and then I start getting fatigued, and then I'm like, I gotta go play something else. Like, there's no, at least where I'm at in the game, and when you first start off, it's just you driving a truck. Over time, I think you can build a business and you can hire truckers to deliver things. I've never gotten there because I've never made it there. I can never get past the long drives. I prefer short hops. I enjoy those. But the long hauls, I get bored. I
like the long hauls just because you have to put on your high beams sometimes in the really dark areas, and I feel like when cars are coming, I have to shut them off. You necessarily really don't even have to shut them off because it's AI. But I like to try to be as realistic as possible. And if I'm feeling a little bit fatigued or bored, I'll just speed, go past the speeding limit. I don't care if I get fined. I just like just try a little bit harder not to crash into things. But I don't know. I find it super relaxing, and it's a beautiful game. And
I have a video of you, not here. Don't worry, not here. But there is a video of you on my YouTube channel where you fell asleep playing American Truck
it
Simulator.
was so relaxing. I fell asleep behind the wheel.
I turned around in my chair. She was... And then her truck was over top a highway divider. So the forward part of her truck was on the incoming lane. And then the back end of her truck was in the lane she was supposed to be in. And she just said... And then there are just miles long, just a huge pileup of cars. Like, she's been asleep for quite a while now at this point. No rescue vehicles coming to save her. So traffic is, like, the entire world is devolved into chaos because of this one person. It's just, it was hilarious.
So, like, you can make this game as realistic as possible with the options, or you can just make it as simple as possible, you know? Which is really cool. I wish I had a wheel. I think a wheel would be fantastic in this game. You crashed.
I know, I saw it. I winced. I physically winced just now. I'm like, wow, that was good.
That was funny.
Speaking of, you can damage your vehicle and get fined for breaking the law and different things like that. There's
an option to even disable that stuff. Like, if you don't really want to go, you know, if you just want to, like, complete the game, you can. There's so many options to do to make this game as relaxing or as stressful as you want.
I'm getting stressed out watching me drive this truck. I'm looking like, oh my god, am I gonna wreck? I'm totally not driving how a regular driver would. Man, I just muscled my way onto that highway. Anyway, sorry.
I love the multiplayer aspect too. Like, I've never played this on multiplayer, and I don't think I think it's a mod support, but I can't even imagine how it would be. Like, it's such a huge map. Like, when are you ever gonna see the person that you're, you know, playing with? Like, one of these days it'd be like, oh, hey, he's passing by me. I'll see you in another 4 hours.
Yeah, it's like No Man's Sky. The odds of you running into someone else in No Man's Sky is ridiculous. Yeah. If this game had a map of Pittsburgh, I would totally play this, you know. We've got so many hills here and so many crazy intersections. It would challenge any truck driver. I would love to see that.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
So
I love this game. It's beautiful. There's so many different ways that you can play. Like, you can take the mirrors out. You can keep them on. You can put them in different spots. The GPSs, they crack me up. They have voice GPS.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
cool. It gets a little bit annoying, but I think it's pretty funny.
Can you import custom voices, or is it just built in?
I don't remember, but they have a lot built in, and from like almost every single language. It's insane. Insane. I think they have like an old grandma too, which is pretty funny.
That's awesome. I've never seen that before. Again, I haven't played this game enough to really explore all of its features, but I do want to come back to it at some point. But again, American Truck Simulator seems to focus on the West Coast. I want East Coast. I want my Pennsylvania stuff.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
They have a GPS voice that's very similar to Batman. I'll just say that.
Really? I have. Right. Are you seriously?
Yeah.
Turn right at the light.
It's so like, I thought it was hilarious the first like hour, and after that I was like, oh my god, I gotta shut this guy off.
Traffic 1 mile ahead. I'm not wearing hockey pads. Swear to me. Anyway. So, all right. Anything else to say about American Truck Simulator before we wrap that up?
One of my favorite games.
One of your favorite games.
Yeah. My favorite relaxing games.
Okay. Fair enough. Honorable mentions. I do. Go ahead and tell me yours first.
I have a lot.
All right. Here we go. All right. What are your honorable mentions?
All right, fine. Farming Simulator 15.
Okay.
Or all the other farming simulators that are like identical.
Okay.
But the only reason why it's not on there is because it takes way too long and it's way too technical. I'm not a real farmer, and they have like all these technical terms. Life is Strange.
Really? That's relaxing to you?
Oh yeah, it's like a visual novel, you know? I was trying to find a visual novel to put in the top five, but Life is Strange is the closest one that I could find,
I
and
thought
it just
about
wouldn't fit.
I thought about putting like The Walking Dead because I enjoy that, but like it's a narrative. Like once you play it once, replaying it again is kind of like
Hmm.
I used replayable as a condition for a lot of
Oh,
my
okay.
entries. So like a one-off narrative doesn't seem very replayable to me, to where I would
Mm.
be able to come back to it. If I already knew what happened, I wouldn't really be invested in it.
Yeah. Life is Strange is one of the only visual novels I think that I can play over and over.
Okay,
Just because it's so nice to look at and the music is amazing.
fair enough. Fair enough.
City Skylines, but as for reasons you said, it's not on my list. Mud Runner.
That game
I
frustrates the heck out of me.
really I like it and it's relaxing to me, but I can see how it would be super frustrating, so that's why it's not on the list.
Hmm.
Abzu,
Too
but
short of a narrative. Otherwise,
yeah.
it was on my honorable mentions as well. Hmm.
Hmm. Taito Ecology is one of is a really
I'm
good
trying to remember
relaxing game to
that
me.
game. Is that where you create like an ecosystem or something?
Kind of. It's very similar to Equilinox, which is also my honorable
Okay, I'm
mentions.
gonna have to pull those back up. I don't remember them.
Eco
Eco,
is on my
okay.
list.
Minecraft-esque. Hmm.
Hmm. But with the whole like balancing your food, that's the only reason why it wasn't on the list. Heroes of the Storm is huge. The only reason why it's not on my list is because maybe other people wouldn't agree. And there are times where I rage.
It has well, I would consider the latter excuse more valid than the former. Your former excuse of thinking that other people wouldn't agree. I don't care what other people think. It's
Mm,
your list. It's how you relax. If you think
that's true.
ARAM is relaxing, it's
Hmm.
not. You're wrong. But if that's how you think, even though you're wrong, I'm kidding. You think that.
Well, the bots too versus bots
The
is pretty
beginner
relaxing.
bots, I find that relaxing to a degree, but it's not relaxing. It still stresses me a little bit. I
Mm.
I can play 3 or 4 matches of heroes before I want to go do something else
Oh.
because I feel like again I'm working,
Hmm.
because I'm concentrating, I'm paying attention. It's more intensive. It's real
Hmm.
time. If that makes any sense.
Astroneer is
Okay,
another one.
that's a good one. That's similar to Eco and No Man's Sky. Hmm.
Hmm. Raft, Stardew Valley, of course, Viscera Cleanup Detail, Forager. The Sims 4 is a big one.
I had that on my list as well.
Hmm. The only reason why it wasn't on the list is because I do get overwhelmed because I want to do everything and I can't. So, yeah.
My problem is that in order for me to fully enjoy The Sims and all of the content, I have to spend
Mm-hmm.
over $500 to do it, and I'm not going to do that.
Hmm.
Yes, the game is relaxing enough. You can buy the core game for fairly cheap and just have fun doing that. But I feel like 90% of the features are missing, what with all the
Hmm.
other DLCs out there. So I don't enjoy it as much. It's on my honorable mentions, but it's not on my main list for that reason.
Yep, I understand that. Heroes of Hammerwatch.
Okay. Also
Um,
very stressful for me.
yeah, I think the reason why it's not on my list is because you have to get to a certain point in order for it to be relaxing, and it can take way too long to get there.
Yeah.
Um, and then Medieval Dynasty.
Okay, I like that game as well. It's still intensive though. That it's I like you can build your own village in that game. I love that. Chopping down trees, carrying resources over. It's not perfect by any means, but
Yeah.
I do like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Was that it?
Yeah, and a bunch of other mobile games that just are way too casual for this list.
Gotcha. My honorable mentions were Slime Rancher, Factorio, Tiny Rails, Abzu, but again too short. Eco, Skyrim or Fallout 4, Phasmophobia, it's iffy. City Skylines, The Sims 4, and Ultimate General Civil War. I know that some of you are thinking, really, Ultimate General Civil War is pretty heavy. It can be difficult. It is. I've just played it enough to know where I know it enough by now to where I don't get frustrated by it anymore.
Nice.
I for whatever reason, what draws me to Ultimate General Civil War is the ability to build your army in between each battle. and customize what weapons they use and, you know, rank them up and stuff. That's fun to me. I like that. A persistent army as you continue playing. Had the game not had that, I would not play that as much as I do. So yeah, that was my honorable mentions.
Would Fallout Shelter be a relaxing game or no?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's mobily, but yeah, I would put an honorable mention. I didn't think about that, but yeah, I guess I could do that. It's not a game I would play for a very long time though, because I'm at the point with my Fallout Shelter, I've got over 100 people in it, and the demands to manage each one are trying to drag them all over the place. This person needs trained in intelligence. This person needs trained in strength. I'm being attacked again. Typically with these games, the bigger you get, the more management you have to do. Mm-hmm. And that with Fallout Shelter, there's very little automation for all that stuff. You have to tap each room to collect everything. Mr. Handy, if you have one, will collect everything on that current floor that he's on, but you've got like 30 floors, 30 levels, so like you have to still tap all these different rooms. It's a pain.
It's kind of like Skyrim. I rack up so many quests that I get overwhelmed because I don't get to finish them as fast as possible, but otherwise Skyrim would probably be on there.
Skyrim is relaxing to me because I like the exploration. I can just pick a direction and go and see what I discover. Yeah. All right, so I guess that's it for the top 5. Let's go ahead and quickly move on to Patreon and Twitch thank yous. So, as you folks know, you can support me on Patreon and subscribe to me on Twitch, and I will read off your names every month. I also give out keys to the top Patreon supporters. This month it was Ratsy, Scotty, and Brian. I sent you guys keys this morning. Let me know if they don't work. Ratsy's this month pledged $135 for a lifetime of 4,310. Wow. Scotty R pledged $100 for a lifetime of 2,310. Brian pledged $50 for a lifetime of 800. Greg Howe pledged $10 for a lifetime of 502. Mind a Lot pledged $5 for a lifetime of 120. Rip Alpha pledged $1 for a lifetime of 53. Alyssa Barrett and Rapid Amoeba both pledged $1 for a lifetime of 12. So thank you, Patreon peeps. It's very helpful. I do appreciate it. Twitch subscribers, White Knight pledged for 41 months. That's $5 a month. Bessa702, 39-month streak. X Misa 88, 12-month streak. Rabbit Amoeba, 4-month streak. Little Lily P, 9-month streak. Nick Beard 50, 1 month. Big Body Karate, 1 month. And Chet the Jet, 1 month. So thank you all for your support. It is helpful. Yes, I am working full-time now, but I'm still a temp. I don't know for how long. So all of the money here definitely helps. Mm-hmm. New releases, again, real quick. The Magister is coming out today. I don't know what the price is going to be, but I do have a beta out there from last year. Go check out that video. Cookie Clicker is $5. It's a very popular idle game, but it's coming out on Steam. Aliens Fire Team Elite is $40. It's a game I want, but I think is too expensive. Obsidio is $12. Humankind $50. Psychonauts 2 $60. Tetris Effect $40 for a Tetris game. $40, really. And then 12 Minutes $25. Those are some of the new releases that are now out. Sales on Steam: Hunt Showdown 50% off $20. Battlefield 5 90% off $5. Cyberpunk 2077, 60% off, $24. Spiritfarer, 50% off, $15. Maneater, 40% off, $24. Ghost Recon Wildlands, 70% off, $15. Green Man Gaming, I do have an affiliation with them, so click on that link to buy something through that link, and I'll get a partial credit. 7 Days to Die, 78% off, $5.62. Dead Rising 3, 74% off, $7.65. Devil May Cry 4, 66% off, $8.50. Anno 1800, 66% off, $20.40. Human Fall Flat, 66% off, $6.80. Pure Farming 2018, 70% off, $6. Humble Bundle, same thing. I've got an affiliation with them. Hitman 3, 40% off, $35.99. Satisfactory, 20% off, $23.99. Tabletop Sim, 50% off, $10. No Man's Sky, 50% off, $30. XCOM 2 Collection, 80% off, $20. Planet Zoo, 55% off, $20. DLCs also are on sale. Tropico 6, 50% off, $20. And City Skylines, 75% off, $7.50. Also, some of their DLCs are also on sale. So there you go. A quick look at some of these sales and new releases going on. I do have a quick pets thing to show off. Typically, we haven't done this lately, but I have a few pictures from Discord that I thought I'd share. This is lovely Maddie's 2 cats. I know she's got more animals than this. I just don't remember how many, but that's a quick picture of her 2 cats there.
Oh.
Yeah, they look young. I can't tell though.
Do.
Mm-hmm. The next one comes from Kira. These are her, I'm guessing, hamsters or guinea pigs. I'm not sure which.
Or gerbils.
Gerbils. They could be gerbils.
I don't know.
I don't know. I get them confused. Hamsters are smaller, I think. They might be guinea pigs.
So adorable.
This one, also from Kira. So her 2 cats. Or she's got more cats, I think.
I love the way that they're looking.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
There's Augie, my ferret. One of my 2 remaining. And Sandy, my other ferret. And lastly, my dog, Sarah. The big schnauzer. She's a German Shepherd, but she's got a huge nose, as German Shepherds do.
Yeah, she does.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll finish off with our Spanish sentence of the week. We're just blowing right through all this stuff. All right, so let's see.
You got this.
I got this. This is mandatory, by the way. We have to do this, otherwise we cannot do this segment. Okay. So she gave me this sentence to translate. I'm going to try and translate it. Mi padre me decía, estás tan relajada. That I hate the J's. Like, they don't pronounce J's. That's ya, I think. Anyway. Relajada. Que parece que estás en coma. Oh, boy. Mi padre, my father, me decía, my deceit. So my pretend father, estes. So your pretend father, Esta. So it's your pretend father, Esta, your pretend father. Tan relishes being tan. So she loves to go tanning. Your pretend father loves to go tanning. Your pretend father, Esta, loves to go tanning. What que Paris in Paris? What Esta's in coma? So what's being said here? My pretend father, Esta, loves to go tanning, relishes going tanning in Paris, but fell into a coma. So, with that, I'm going to... Was that correct? Is that correcto?
No.
So,
no.
Please, enlighten.
I'm surprised that you didn't say eat, because comer is to eat. I'm really surprised you didn't.
I didn't put that together, honestly. I forgot what to eat was. But that's coma.
I think you're just saying, like, the words that just sound just like English.
It basically is. How many... Well, Spanish and Latin and all that is all intertwined, right? Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. It says, mi padre me decía, estás tan relajada que parece que estás en coma. Which means my father told me, and it's related to the theme of the podcast, but my father told me that you are so relaxed that it seems like you are in a coma.
Well, that's nice. Okay. That's an interesting... Okay.
I did that one time. I was playing American Truck Simulator in the living room, and I'm just on the sofa, and I'm just staring at the television for hours and hours and hours. He comes downstairs, he goes, Adali, you're so relaxed. You look like you're in a coma. It made me laugh so hard.
Oh, I forgot to do this first. Hold on. We can't end the segment. All right, that's good. All right, so it's getting shorter every single podcast. We just can't wait for the thing to be over at that point.
Oh, that's so sad.
No, it's fine. So I can hear a lawnmower outside, so I think this is a great time to end the podcast. I want to thank everyone for their support. Again, just to remind you folks, you can support me on Patreon or Twitch, and you're probably thinking,
I don't have $1,000.
you don't need $1,000 to support me on Patreon. $1, if everyone pledged $1, everyone, I would be rich enough to not need a job and then pump out more content. Just $1 from everyone. That would be awesome, but I'm not going to force you. I'm just saying. Anyway. Episode 26. This is Vince and Idly. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next time. Take care.
Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.